Woo! Hello, everybody out there in Facebook land, TikTok world, everywhere. There's going to be a clip of this or a recorded version of this going out to the world. Welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I am Monty Anderson, your host here at 412 Productions, the art of Monty Anderson. And lots has happened in the past 24 hours. Welcome to the broadcast booth again, everybody. Oh, two paintings down, a comic book out the way, a comic book, or not a comic book, but a novel book cover, painted cover, handed off to a publisher. I mean, the list goes on and on of stuff that's been happening here within the last 24 to 48 hours. And it's been exciting times, exciting times. Can't complain about that. Ozzy Osbourne, the first painting is completely complete, and it's already moving out the door with product, wearables, and canvas prints, 16 by 20 canvas prints. So those are already heading out the door as well. Well, the orders are coming in, and then they will be going out the door. This is one of our new shirts right here. This is Gunslinger Spawn, Mr. Todd McFarlane's creation. But this is my artwork that you're seeing on the shirt. I actually did this on a blank cover, comic book cover, and it turned out really, really well. So I turned it into a nice new shirt. So, welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. So, I just got finished tattooing Ozzy Osbourne, the Ozzy Osbourne second painting right here. He will now be going to shirt and print form as far as the whole product line goes, to go and join the first one. I gave him some little horns up here coming out of his glasses, right here and right here. You can't see that in the purple. I know you can on the other one. You can see them right there. Plus his famous tattoos on his chest. No, I did not do the signature that he has underneath here, just because I didn't want to put that in there. But there you go. Number 2 is finished, and we'll be going into t-shirt form and other forms like that. And here is what the first one looks like if you didn't catch it or haven't looked at it. But there's what the first one looks like. That is complete. And this one's already going out the door as far as the shirts and prints and hoodies included are going out the door on this one so far. But it's pretty cool that, you know, it's not even really sealed, but people are buying it up like crazy. It's already cool. So there you go. All right, those are the two new paintings right there. With the second one still, with the second one still in the dry stage, meaning it still has a little bit of wet paint on it. The 8-page comic book is getting ready to go to printer. This piece is getting ready to get some ink happening to it, the memorial piece. And then I'll be starting on a huge 18 by 24 commission that I've got in-house. And today's title says Restart. Oh, a couple days ago, went into my hot water heater to grab the closet where my hot water heater is and my heat unit is for the house, to grab up my filters to change out the filter for my heater, and noticed that there was water leaking everywhere. The hot water tank had burst, sprung a leak, and had been leaking for a while apparently, because there was a nice little puddle of water already soaking into the floor. There was mold underneath a certain section, so it had been leaking for a little bit. So we got that rectified yesterday. Electric hot water tanks aren't cheap, just saying. So there you go. So it's a good thing Ozzy Osbourne is selling and going out the door. So don't forget to like, share, and follow when you get here. And I got to clean a paintbrush. I just noticed. I got a paintbrush in the water. In the water. Oh, Dolby. Dolby. All right. So how are y'all doing out there? Hopefully better than me, since I had to replace a hot water tank yesterday. It doesn't take long to redo one, to put one in, take one out, put one in. Um, Especially since it's not gas, and it's all electric house anyway. So it's just a quick in and out with the hot water tank, and then just take the hot water tank and sell it for scrap metal with some other scrap metal that I've got ready to go. Probably do that today. Um, hopefully you all are doing good out there. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully the new year is treating you a little better than me. So, having to replace a hot water tank right off the bat is not the best way to start. But it's always been something ever since I've been in this house year after year when it comes to the plumbing. Oh, excuse me, I'm tired. Oh, because the very first year, within less than a month of living here, my pipes burst. So, that was a great Christmas present. Crawling underneath the house, wet, cold, replacing some pipe. And then the very next year, if it wasn't the next year, it was somewhere in there. It was either the floor or the pipes burst again in a different spot. Um, and then we've just had floor issues after floor issues, as well as pipe issue after pipe issue when it comes to this house since we moved in. And it's just one thing after another, and it gets kind of old whenever you are having an issue pretty much every year. It's like either an act of nature needs to happen or I need to sell it and move on. But that's neither here nor there. So hopefully you all are doing good out there again. Um, let's see here. So all 8 pages to the comic book are done, gone, and he's already got lettering to them. Um, Trying to see what we got going on up here. I gotta dig out some more. So I'm gonna be digging out more of my blank sketch covers right here, and I'm gonna be doing some artwork on them. Hold on, I'm listening. Sound like somebody hit my door, and it would be an aminal that hit my door if it's one of them. So I can do some more covers of just random stuff because it's fun. All right, so here is all 10 pages basically, 2 covers right here and right here. This is what the just the standard ink looks like for that, but then you get to see what it looks like right there, and then vice versa on the other one right there. So again, all these are done out the door and ready to go to print. Now I'm about to seal this one completely in epoxy because I got some new epoxy, quick coat epoxy right here to seal this one in because it's going to be outdoors. This one is a memorial piece for the animal that you see here, the little corgi. That, yes, they pushed him around in a wheelchair, and so he wanted the wheelchair included in the picture. So I went ahead and did that for him. So that one's going to be getting sealed once the weather gets a little better. Now I could do it inside, but the fumes and stuff like that, you would definitely want this to be, you know, piped outside because you don't want to get that contact munchy side, if you know what I mean. And that happens whenever you spray stuff inside, sealers and things like that. So that's why you want to do it either in a well ventilated area or outdoors. Um, and with the temperature being where it is, where it's fluctuating between the 30s and 40s, that's not the ideal temperature to be doing that stuff. Um, Now, Today it's 40 degrees. It's supposed to get up to like 50 to 60 degrees today. So I could potentially do that outdoors for that one. As well as start sealing my Ozzy Osbourne paintings. So those of you that just showed up, the Ozzy paintings are completely ready to go and be in your hands on your wall if you're an Ozzy fan. So again, we've got two. Stuff's already going out the door for the first one that's done. Again, those of you just joining us, here they are. Just finished tattooing Ozzy here with this one. And there you go. Both of them side by side right there. And this one is the one that's already going out the door quickly with all of the different products so far. So I'm happy about that people are liking it enough to go ahead and get stuff because that's fun. That's the fun part of being an artist is when everything starts to go out the door and get away from you, get away from your house because you don't want it to sit here and collect dust. You know, you want it to be in a artisan's eye somewhere on their wall, even if it's in their business. Because I've sold many a Joker prints or actual Joker paintings and stuff like that are hanging in professional offices. You know, so that's always fun and cool whenever you find that out. And I'm talking about like therapist office and things like that. So um, imagine a Joker painting in your therapist office. That would be pretty awesome. It'd be pretty cool for mine for the VA stuff, you know. But that's neither here nor there. When it comes down to it all. So what are y'all doing out there? How are you all doing? Are y'all doing good? Are you awake? Are you roaming trying to find the right spot that you can fit into? Well, this is a horror spot. This is a sci-fi spot. This is a comic book spot. This is a comic book artwork spot. From autographs to original artwork to my artwork to comic book artwork that I'm working on, and so on and so forth. Plus the painting and illustrations that I do as well. Um, so, next things that are going to be happening here are getting the Elvis stuff out the door and shipped off. My orders are coming in for my other shirts and things. I'm looking at it right now. They are being fulfilled at the printer right now. My prints, my 16 by 20 prints are ordered and going to be coming in. So if you're looking for that type of stuff, you know where to find me. Some comments. Somebody's already doing some filtered comments. So somebody has said something. I'm not sure who said what because I'm not seeing any comments so far. But somebody got filtered out there. So if you did type something, retype it because you were filtered and put it in a much more gentler way for TikTok, I guess, or your viewing audience. So again, I don't know who did what, who said what, but where are you guys watching from? Those of you that are popping in, stopping in, checking us out, where are you watching from? We are in Arkansas here, Central America, originally from Oklahoma. So I'm not a native to Arkansas. So there you go. Born and raised in Oklahoma. So where are y'all coming from? Where are you watching from? I know some of my regulars aren't on here right now. Don't know where they are. Probably asleep. One of them stays up pretty much all night until daytime, and then he's like, "Nope, can't hang. Gotta go to bed." Yes, Roy, I'm talking about you, bud. Talking about you. And but that's cool. We get some new people to talk to chit chat with over artwork and different things that we got going on around here. And like I said, got lots of stuff happening. Got lots of commissions that are in-house right now that I'm working on. Like I said, the big 18 by 24 piece will be going on the board after I get this one done. And then from there, we will, get more and more stuff coming in as we do all year long, and which is fun. I'm still waiting to see what we want, what a friend of mine uh, is going to be presenting when it comes to the whole. There's a big, and it's hard to explain. There's a big opportunity. Let's put it that way. Um, that is presenting itself. That if it comes to fruition, you're going to see my artwork around the world. Um, and so that's an exciting adventure to be in on. And if that comes to fruition like we're hoping it does, which I've got to get back in contact with him, of course, is that there will be tons and tons of original artwork and a ton of prints. Now, there will be the originals and then there will be the prints that are scattered all over the place. Good morning, Casey. Welcome to the broadcast booth, my friend. And if that comes to fruition, you're going to see this guy in a lot of different places. Um, think hotels. And if that does happen, you guys will know about it. What's up, King Vaughn? How are you doing today? Welcome to the show. So, just know that there is a huge opportunity that has been presented. And if it does come to fruition, depending on the hotel, you would be seeing some of my artwork. All right. So that's the cat out of the bag, I guess, if you will, that we've talked about before. Um, but I've got to get more information to the guy that I'm talking to about it. Just because we're trying to figure out what is the best avenue, which is the best artwork approach to go towards hotels and things like that. So that's what we're looking for. You know, that's the biggest question. That's why I did a demographic post on my Facebook post asking a question out there, and got a good response from several different people. So we're gonna see which avenue he wants to go with on that venture. Casey, I did show the uh, both Aussie pieces are complete and ready to go out here. I got finished tattooing Ozzy this morning with the horns added to his glasses, and then put the hair on top of some of the fire coming off of his tattoo. Now I didn't do the typical complete tattoo that he's got with all of the different traditional tattoo fire, that comes off the head of that blue figure that's on his chest. Um, I did an interpretation and then used some of the outlines of the fire, the traditional tattoo on him, right there. But number one is selling good for product so far. Can't complain on that end. My other orders are being fulfilled right now. I've got two more orders in on shirts, and I'm looking at them right this moment. Sorry about that. And so I'm looking to see where we are. One's being fulfilled, one is waiting on fulfillment, and then the prints, the 60 by 20 prints, are en route as well. So lots is happening. We did talk about the downfall of the water heater that happened uh, in the case that it decided it wanted to take a shitter on us, and go south for the winter. And it just seems like something like that has happened every year since I moved into this house back in the end of 2022, so in November. And um, it's just been one little thing after another that's just an annoyance, if you will. And it's not fun, especially being a house owner and you having to do your own repairs and stuff like that. So, but that's the joys of owning your own property, your own house, and things of that goody good stuff. One of these days, I'll, you know, be wealthy enough to rip the floors out and get them all straightened out and good to go on that endeavor. So that's the next step because most of my floors are starting to sink in, as you can tell if you look at any of my floors, which is sad. Uh, State of affairs for the floors. Lots of order stuff coming in. Um, Valentine's Day, which is an overpriced holiday, as well as most any other holiday out there. So don't forget, Valentine's Day is right around the corner. Um, my calendar was already supposed to be here as well, but apparently it's delayed. Good morning, love. Welcome to the show. I saw that sneak by right in there. Are you getting ready for work and getting ready to head to work? Or are you off today since you're the boss? Um, and so not only do I have these paintings ready to go, the Aussie paintings, I've got some more that I can work on as well in the style of Patrick Nagel. I've got those ready to go. And then I'll be working on some older pieces that I just let kind of sit to the wayside and just kind of sit there. And that's on me because I just let them sit there and collect dust in the closet. So I've got one, two, three, four, five, six or seven more pieces that I can be working on in between, letting paint dry and things like that. And that's what I was doing between the two Aussie pieces. I was just kind of letting paint dry. So, I would work on one, put it to the side, work on the other one, put it to the side, work on the one, put it to the side, and just kept flip flopping back and forth. I did get the other one done first because it wasn't as intricate. And you know what? I'm not done. I lied. I'm not done with this second painting. I still got to add his chains in there. I still got to add his chains. He's got chains coming down his neck. I forgot about that. As I'm looking at it, I'm like, something's missing. It's like, oh, it's the chain. It's the chain. So yeah, I'm going to be adding his chains to his neck that he's got, his gold chains and silver chains that he has coming down. So I forgot about that. So I've got to add that to it. So I'm not done with that painting yet. So I still got some more stuff. I got some bling bling to add to it, um, and go that route with it all. Cause yeah, I forgot. I forgot it. That's my fault. I forgot. As I'm looking at it, I'm like, something is definitely missing. It's just like, oh yeah, he was wearing chains in that picture. And I know I could leave the chains off and it'd be okay, but I think it just adds a little extra to it. So, so that's what I will be doing next is adding chain to Mr. Ozzy Osbourne on this piece. So almost done. So almost done with it. And then once I do get that finished, then again it will be going to print form and all of that good stuff. Rock and roll queen, welcome to the show if you're here. I know we get lots of people popping in, popping off because they're like, "What is he talking about? I don't like this guy. I don't like his tone." Yeah. So y'all happy that you get 6 more weeks of winter since the groundhog, Mister Poxitani Phil, saw his shadow or didn't see a shadow. I don't know which one it was, but apparently we're getting 6 more weeks of winter. So thanks to him. I saw somebody else post that literally he's 30 to 40% correct. most of the time, which a coin flip is more accurate than the groundhog. But yet we still put our trust in a groundhog, you know. So, but to each their own. To each their own on that. If you want to put your trust in a groundhog, go for it. If you don't, then you don't. I just ride it out. I don't, you know, believe in a groundhog is predicting the weather. So there you go. That's just me. And I'm not superstitious either. So how are you all doing out there? Casey, how are you feeling this morning? Love, if you're still here, how are you doing this morning? Are you still cold? It's still cold up there in Chicago, right? I know it's still cold where you are, Casey. Here it's 40 degrees. We're supposed to be getting into the 60s uh, this week. So going to be warming up and thawing out the ground out here so that we can maneuver, if you will. Because most of our ice and snow is starting to melt off. I saw it yesterday after we got back from getting the new hot water tank. Um, Someone had slid off of their driveway into the ditch, and so they were nice and high, not high centered. They were nose to the ground, and the rest of the car was up on their driveway that has the culvert and nice little ditch and the big pipe going through your driveway, and so the water flows through in that ditch, and it was just quite humorous to see. I mean, it sucks for them, but you know, it's just like you can tell that there's ice there, ice and snow, and I don't know if they just came in too hot and tried to turn into it too fast and just slid right off, or what actually happened. But they were all jacked up. They did finally get it out. Someone helped them get it out because we were going to help them, but then we saw that they had people showing up, and we were like, okay, they got this. So we just let them handle it. And as I was taking a picture from my driveway, you can see the tire still spinning. Uh, I don't know if it was still in gear or what, but it had to have been for it to still be spinning. So for the tire, but that was quite humorously interesting. And again, I know it sucked for them, but as a bystander, we laugh first and then we go help. So because why? It could happen to us just as easy. And would I be mad? Of course I would be, but then I'd be laughing at the same time because it was my stupidity that got me in that place. You know, I mean, it's not the first time that someone has run off the ditch. And in fact, someone ran off the ditch right in front of our driveway uh, last year, and uh, right off the edge of our driveway, they went off into the ditch as well. So it's pretty easy to do, and especially in the icy conditions. But it is what it is. To each their own with that. But this stuff is starting to slowly melt off. We still have big ice patches in the backyard where the snow and ice, compacted together. You got sleet, you got freezing rain, and then you got snow again on top of all that. So it's going to take it a few days of good weather, warm weather. Like right now, it's 40 degrees, so it's still melting the snow, even though it's nighttime, right now. So that's a good thing. And the more of this warm weather we've got, the less of the snow and ice we have, which means I can get back to working on, the chicken coop and things like that um, to get it ready for them and move the chickens out there, leave them in there for a few days, and then kick them back, kick the pigs into where the chickens are now and let them have their nice little cozy little spot in there that's all hay filled and all that good stuff. So, but that's the plan, and hopefully we can get that done, or I can get that done in the next X amount of days. to give us a little bit of peace and mind on the inside of the house. Yes, we have pigs in the house. They're asleep right now on their little blankets and all that goody good stuff on the floor. They don't have their own little beds. So there you go. Thank you for the likes, the shares, and the follows. Again, don't forget to like, share, and follow when you do get here. Again, we talk about horror movies. We talk about sci-fi movies. We talk about comic books, comic book artwork, my original stuff, my comic books that I'm working on, so on and so forth in that endeavor. If you don't have Tubi, you might want to download that to your streaming device because it's got a lot of cool shows on it. I've been watching a lot of horror movies over there that are pretty interesting and pretty cool shows. I couldn't tell you the name of them right off the top of my head, but I've watched probably five or six. I Am Lisa is one of them, and that one was a pretty good werewolf movie, a different take on the werewolf genre. But it was a really good one. I liked it, and it was different. So I would like to see a I Am Lisa 2, come out of this, a sequel to that one, because it was pretty interesting. It was fun. It was it wasn't one of those over the top gore fest type of movies, but you know, I like those two. But um, sometimes you just want that human aspect to the horror genre, to the horror movie, and that's kind of what they gave it in this one. So if you want to check that one out, it is on Tubi. It is called I Am Lisa. So there you go. There's a recommended watch on Tubi. Let's see, y'all. Today, I'm probably taking a water heater to the metal place to get me a little bit of cash from some metal. I'll dig up the rest of the metal in my yard as well and take it out that way. And then I got some other errands to run this morning. But luckily, I don't have to worry about a hot water tank. I had to build a new deck for it to sit on. Got the whole pan in there and all that good stuff, the drip pan in case it does leak anywhere. And then I'll be piping it into the pipe that runs under the house somewhere that we had in there. And, you know, I'm not even sure where that pipe runs to under the house, to be 100% honest with you. Uh, because the girlfriend's dad tried to pull it out of the ground. He's like, or pull it out of the floor, and he's like, "Is this hooked to something else?" And I was like, "I have no idea, to be honest with you. All I know is it's piped under the house somewhere, and I don't know if it goes to a drain or or just flows under the house in case it does leak. But you know, most of the time those are just piped to the ground, and you don't have to worry about it. But now this one is piped to the pan that it sits in. Um, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. This one should last us a while. I'm hoping, anyway. Took it a hot minute to get all the air out of the line, and get the hot water flowing. That was cooking in there after we got it set up. But we're back in business. We're back in the hot water business, and it's very difficult to find an electric hot water tank at different stores and things like that. Only certain stores carry it. So I called six different spots yesterday, just trying to find one, and so it just basically came down to the big box store where I had to go get it because Lowe's and Home Depot had them, and it's just like, well, that's where we got to go. That's what we got to do. But that's neither here nor there. It's done now, and it's over with. Now we get to, you know, relish in the joys of nice hot water again. Then I'm going to be adding some new elements to the bathroom. The the faucets and stuff like that. I got a rain head and stuff like that that I'm going to be putting in for the bathroom, for the shower. And so, with that being said and done, there's a lot I need to do to that, to be honest. Um, a lot of fixing up I need to do on that as well. That's another sore spot for me right now is the bathroom and the way they've done it up and got it going in there. It needs to be ripped apart and started over, just like a lot of things, especially all my floors. So Casey, why don't you come on down and help me rip some floors out and get them leveled and all that good stuff, and we'll go from there. Casey, you got your coffee in hand? You been playing any music here lately? That's the question everybody has on their mind. Has Casey been playing any new music? Oh, let's see. We were at antique store just the other day. Picked up those comic books that I showed you. Uh, they're not of great value, but they're still fun reads and stuff like that, and good for the collection. But yeah, no, the I'm seeing a lot of people that are getting out of the comic book biz because it's becoming an addiction for them, and I get that. Um, I can see where it would become an addiction, just like anything else. And they were happy to get out of the game, and I can see that because comic books are. Uh, I got you. No music, just resting. Can't get up for long. Now I get that, and that's understandable. And I hate that for you. Like I said, I really do, because it's never fun to be in so much pain that you can only do so much. You know, and that was me the other day when I took the spill. I still have a nice little red mark that I feel right there from hitting the wall, uh, and so as far as I know, I didn't bruise over here, which is a good thing. Yeah, no bruises over here. All right. You can still see the mark, but no bruise, so that's good. I thought my hand was going to bruise up too right here because it looked like it in that video or the picture or the here, but it didn't bruise up, so I'm kind of surprised. But I did hit pretty hard, and my jaw still hurts from that fall. That's what happens when you get older. Falls aren't as nice as they used to be. Um, but no, a lot of people getting out of the comic book game. A lot of people getting into it. Uh, and you just get so much negativity all the way around. What up, ballerina? Welcome to the show. Mardi Gras is almost coming to an end, isn't it? I mean, you got a couple more weeks, right? You said the 17th, I believe, is what you said. Yeah, I don't follow Mardi Gras that closely, but if you're in Louisiana, you do. I mean, the closest I've got to Louisiana is my voodoo shop that I took pictures from for my, that picture right there. 2 weeks left. There you go. That's the closest to Mardi Gras as I get is right there. And when I was there for Katrina, helping kick in doors, find people, and things like that. Um, but yeah, I did a New Orleans voodoo shop for that picture right there. That's Psycho Sound number 3, the cover to it by William Russell. And I used different voodoo shops to create an image of basically his two main FBI characters hunting down a serial killer. It's sad that you can't say actual words here. You have to make shit up. Um, and so I took many different shops and combined them into one shop. Took different elements from each voodoo occult shop and, created my cover for it, which turned out really well. And then Dave Kemp knocked it out of the ballpark on the colors. I just did the inks and the pencils for it, and then I let him professionally color it. Again, he's the guy that works on stuff like this Spawn for Image Comics. He works with Todd McFarlane and a bunch of the industry leaders, such as DC and Marvel and things like that. Him and his brother, with their Kemp Studios, and I believe they're in Tennessee. If I'm thinking correctly that they're in Tennessee. I originally thought they were somewhere else, like in California or something like that. But then after looking at more of their stuff, it's like, no, I think they're in Tennessee. But I could be totally wrong, and they could be somewhere else. And don't get me lying on where they are. But if you want to check them out, Dave and Dan Kemp on Facebook or Kemp Studios, KEMP, you can check them out over there. But we do have those available as well. A part of the TikTok shop. That's a lie. I'm just saying that because TikTok shop does not like to talk about, us as artists making sales outside of the TikTok shop. And I'll probably get a restriction for saying all that, but I don't care anymore. You know, what's a restriction? It restricts today's show. Wah, Crimea River. And TikTok just makes me bitter sometimes, you know. But thank you for all the likes out there. It is gratefully appreciated. That puts us in the popular live category, just in likes alone. Um, because I know, not everybody's stopping in for this lovely face right here to talk to you about comic books and horror movies and things of that nature. But those of you just stopping in, Ballerina, we're almost done with this one. I just realized I didn't put the chains in. So I'm putting chains, around his neck that he has that will be coming down from the fire and coming down through here. I'll probably make it avoid the face of his tattoo right there, and then the other one's coming down here. But he's got 3 chains that he likes to wear. But this one is almost complete, and this one is complete, and people are getting their stuff in now for it right there. Well, thank you for the Grinch paints. I know you're saying gorgeous, but there you go. People are already getting hoodies and shirts and canvas prints of this one right now, and then pretty soon, hopefully, this one will get the same love, you know, uh, as well when it comes down to it. But again, I got to add in, like I said, the chains around his neck and stuff. So he's gonna have chains coming in here, and like I said, I'll probably avoid the blue face down there. Just a tad bit different than his that he actually has had, and then this one has been there, and I didn't put the signature underneath this one just because there's no reason to put the signature under there. But he does have horns right there coming off his glasses. But I'm ready to get this one in the books, get the final touches on there, and I appreciate that, Ballerina. And if you know anybody interested, those are up for grabs. Anybody that likes Aussie, those are up for grabs. Plus, like I said, the merch that's coming out, we'll have some of those in house pretty soon. The print shop is doing my fulfillment order on those. And let me see which one is getting done first. Yeah. So that one is coming soon. Bum, bum, bum. 3 of those, 2 of those, and 1 of those. Okay. And then what is this one? That one's that one, that one, that one, that one. Okay, this one's just a bunch of different ones. I'm trying to get one of every shirt that I create so that I can show you guys just like here right now. So that, you guys can get this stuff. Wow, they didn't censor that. Wonder why. Censor what? What didn't get censored? I missed something apparently. I have no idea what you're talking about, Mr. Nine. Exactly. 3 comments up. What, the gorgeous or the Grinch paints? Pants. Nice, great job, sweet. Those are the 3 ones up. Sweet, great job, nice, and gorgeous. And then Grinch pants, which she meant to say gorgeous paints right there. So, those are not things to be censored. So, I don't know what you're talking about. But thank you for being here. Honestly, 100%. I say a lot of worse things than that. I say shit, fuck, darn, all that good stuff. And I don't get censored for that. So, the only thing I do get a restriction for is when I talk about, things outside of the TikTok shop. So I try to limit that for here. But no, I'm ready to get back into the voice acting game with more of the Power Rangers fan film that are going on out there. Uh, now. Ballerina, that could be taken a couple different ways. Um, that could be either you laughing too hard and you're snorting, laughing, or, Breaking Bad type situation. Um, so, um, so there you go. But no, you are in New Orleans. A lot of things are more legal than in some other parts of the state out there. I saw Hulk was just popped in there. I snort when I laugh. See, that's pretty fun. That's pretty fun. I've known several people that do that. They get to laughing really good and they snort. So, we don't talk about politics here. So if you want that, you can go somewhere else. Um, we're not going to be talking about any of that type of stuff here. So we talk about fun stuff. We don't talk about politics. We don't talk about politics or religion because once you do that, people start losing their damn minds and nobody's opinion is correct on anything. And that's basically on any subject. You know, I could be talking about horror movies and people are like, well, I don't like horror movies. Well, that's your opinion. I love horror movies. That's why I surround myself with as much haunted stuff and I live in a haunted house. So, Clive Barker books, tons of horror stuff right over here. I've got the Kama Sutra over here too, the Kama Sutra workout. So if you want to go through that, we can go through that too. See right there. Um, so we talk about all kinds of cool stuff around here, except for those two items. Politics and religion are a no go right here. You know. So if you want to talk about cool stuff, sci-fi movies, horror movies, comic books, comic book artwork, Kama Sutra, we can talk about all that stuff. Don't care. But once we start doing the politics and religion, people lose it. And so that's why there's other platforms out there that have that on there. So, Mr. Nine, if you would like to go find those platforms, that's cool. But if you want to stick here with us and talk about some cool stuff, like I said, I Am Lisa was a good movie off of Tubi. You can go check it out. It's a different take on the werewolf genre. Um, and I liked it. It's not one of those known actor films, that made by a professional company. It's a low budget. Well, I say low budget. It's got actually really good effects in it. So, did you ever read the Perry Roden series? No, I will check it out though. I'll put it on my list. What do they write? I don't know if Perry is a male or a female, and I can't just assume anymore. Rodan. Okay, got it written down. Perry Rodan series. It's great. Male author. Read it as a teenager. Okay, cool. I'll give it a shot. I'll check it out. Oh, speaking of books, sci-fi. Okay, cool. Speaking of books, I got the girlfriend some books from Amazon. She knows about them, and they're the dark romance that she likes to read. And unfortunately, I got to return them because they shipped them in a box with liquid. Well, one of the liquids got damaged on the edge, spilled its contents inside the box, got on the bottoms of those books, and ruined the books. She's like, well, I can still read them. I'm like, no, no, we're not playing that game. They need to not ship books, especially books that aren't in any kind of protection whatsoever, with liquids. especially knowing that all you're putting in with this to protect it all, and I was going to grab some, but I don't have some, is that brown paper wrapping stuff that they throw in the boxes now. They don't even put bubble wrap in there. So that was the only thing protecting all of this stuff that was in there. So I'm just happy that it was only the books that got damaged and not the other stuff that was in there, electronic wise, that was in the box. You know, since Amazon likes to ship it all out together. No, ship your liquids separate from everything else. Put your books and electronics in a different box and put your liquids in a separate box of its own and ship them out separately. You know, if one gets here faster than the other one, big deal. I got a pair of shoes double wrapped in plastic and they were soaking wet. And what the fuck? How the hell did that happen? Especially wrapped in plastic. It's fantastic. No, I'm just kidding. But no, so today I'm going to be shipping out Elvis. I'm going to be going to the metal place to drop off the old, um, rusted out water heater that busted on us. That's what I was dealing with this weekend. Was a busted water heater that I put in yesterday. For those of you just joining us, and the heel was off center too. Got a free pair. That's cool. See, I technically don't have to return one of the two books, but I'm just going to return them both so that they can see, hey, I'm not lying. Here's your water damage down here, and because yeah, I did a replacement of the same item, and it was like you don't have to return this book. We're just going to send you another one. But then I got to the second one, and they were like, return that book, and it's just like, you don't want me to return the first one, but you want me to return the second one? Doesn't make sense. But I'm just going to return them both, and be done with it. Um, and that'll probably happen today as well. While I'm at the post office, uh, well, I've got to go to the post office and then UPS. Yeah, exactly. Makes no sense. Just like yours, soaking wet, but the heel being off. Yeah, that's a big no no for a company, and that's why I'm leery about, excuse me, buying stuff that sight unseen off of the internet. It's just like some of the shoes that I've purchased for her. That's nice. Always nice to get your taxes in. Like whenever I buy shoes and stuff for her off of TikTok Shop or something like that, it's always iffy, you know, because they're not the greatest of qualities, but they're kind of cool at the same time. Was my first time ordering on what? You young buck, you. I've been ordering so much stuff online, not lately, but just in X amount of years that for someone to say that was my first time, it was just like, wow, okay. Nothing wrong with it. It's much safer that way. Um, but the just convenience of, hey, I need that. I don't want to run to the store because I have to run to this specific store to get it. I can just order it and it'll be here in a couple days. All that good stuff. Didn't get my first credit card till I was 55. Well, hey, more power to you on that one. But you've got your business going, right? Um, you know, put yourself in an LLC as well. Just a little heads up on that, which is something I need to do for myself. Um, and you've got your credit card, so you know now you can do some cool stuff if you put yourself in an LLC. Uh, just look into all the stuff that you can do under an LLC. You know, not trying to tell you what to do, just trying to help your business out. I cut it up. I pay cash for everything. Well, I mean, as long as it helped build your credit score, that's the main thing. If you had a low credit score to begin with, which I'm not saying you did, that's just why some people get credit cards. But then other people get credit cards for all the wrong reasons and end up cutting up the credit card anyway because, oh, I can't afford this anymore. You know, those type situations. But but no, If you do own a business out there, and this is just for the business owners out there, make yourself an LLC, protect yourself, and you can do a lot more stuff under an LLC than you can just as a regular business. My score is okay. We'll be better soon. Okay, cool. And that's all that matters is that you're working on that credit score because anymore, that's all people look at, whenever you're trying to do stuff. Well, what's your credit score? Well, it sucks there, Bob. So you can take that or leave it. I don't care. You're going to give me a loan or not. That's why I'm waiting for that rich benefactor to come up and be like, "Hey, here's a grant. You look like you're a size 35,000 K, so here's your grant. You don't have to pay it back, and have a nice day." So that's if you are a wealthy business out there, I'm a size 35,000. Uh, when it comes to a grant, so I would be very happy with that because I could do a lot of stuff for the business with that. You know, I posted that on my Facebook one time, and somebody said, "You know what? I'm the exact same size." It was fun. You gotta have fun with life, and you gotta have fun with your business. Can't take things too serious all the time. Now, I know have you got your stuff resolved, Ballerina? On some of the posts that I've seen you post out there, negative stuff wise. Hopefully, you've got all that resolved, and you're not dealing with it anymore. But if you are, I'm sorry that you are, and you just need to punch that person in the face. That's my advice. It's bad advice, I know, but that's the advice I like to give. Just punch them in the face, you know, or throat punch, one or the other, and have a nice day. I'm all about violence sometimes, and it's not right, and I get that. That's why I go to counseling, therapy sessions with my VA side of things. So I take medication too. So there you go. But yeah, now hopefully all that stuff is getting resolved for you, and you don't have to deal with it uh, much longer or anymore. To be honest, I mean 100%. Just because it does suck having all that negativity floating around, especially when you do have a business and stuff like that. Take Crumble Cookie for example. I don't know if they're recovering from that incident in Florida or not, where you know the employee had her barefoot chilling. Well, it was socked foot, still barefoot, chilling on the baking trays where they put the cookies, to cook them up. So I know our crumble cookie is still getting used here in Fort Smith area of Arkansas, but I just wonder sometimes, because you hear about all kinds of stuff in the service industry, with the foods and things like that. That's why they even made the movie called Waiting, with Ryan Reynolds and a bunch of other stars in it. So you get to see what happens to your food in the service industry. And I've heard some of those horror stories, and I've seen some of the horror stories, with the hidden cameras and things like that, in the prep line cook area, and the things that you see, and yeah, it just makes you wonder, sometimes what are you eating when you go out, especially if you're an ass to your server or something like that. Never ever eat at Golden Corral. It's been a hot minute since I've had Golden Corral. I mean, and I'm talking a hot minute. It's been probably about 4 years or so on Golden Corral. So, but it's just like Furs, Golden Corral, Western Sizzlin', all those. I'm sure are about the same caliber with what you're um, portraying here. I'm not calling out those places because I don't know, 100% what all has happened in there, uh, and this could be a one-off situation that you're talking about there, ballerina. But I don't know. I don't know, you know. But I do know that I have heard horror stories from people that work in the business, and I've seen the videos um, on certain things. Most servers don't wash their hands and will handle clean dishes and silverware. Yeah, yeah, and that unfortunately that happens everywhere. It doesn't just happen at restaurants. It happens at your grocery stores, Walmart. Associates don't wash their hands, go handle the fruits and vegetables, all that good stuff. So always wash your stuff, no matter where you are. Your bananas, your cucumbers, your all that good stuff. Apples. I mean, the apples have a waxy film on them anyway, just to make them look shiny. So always hot water that to get that shininess off. Yes, on Dodson, yeah. Queen Anne cafeteria, absolutely. See, Casey and I grew up in the same area, just years apart. Uh, he grew up in Oklahoma City area. I grew up in Oklahoma City area, and so we remember a lot of the same places. And all I do is handle money and tickets. I wash mine when I get home. You wash your money? I'm kidding. She washes her hands or her stuff that she gets from the store. Is what she's saying. So there you go, folks. There you go. But no, it's always best just to wash anything that you get from the grocery store because tons of people have already handled it. Not to mention the associates that haven't washed their hands after the bathroom trip and all that good stuff. If it's in my pocket, oh lordy, man, oh man. No, the industries for food industry and stuff like that is just crazy. You can pick out anything that you want to, but now with AI running rampant out there as well, it makes it more difficult to find out what is truly true and so on and so forth out there in the industry. So, just do your own research on anything that you hear, uh, and just like I could tell you different stories about different restaurants here locally that I've had friends that worked in the industry or those specific restaurants, and they're like, "Don't do it. Don't go there." It's like, "Oh, okay. You work there. I will trust your word." You know, those type things. So, and in fact, some of them we haven't even been back to. I don't eat out anymore except locally owned small places. See, and that's the places that need to be um, given the love is the locally owned mom and pop shops over the chain restaurants. You know, yeah, you get your favorite chain restaurants that you love and you like and all that good stuff, and you'll go back to them. But it's those poor mom and pop shops that are the ones that are putting their heart and soul, grandma's recipe, mom's recipe into their food, and they don't last. Especially around here, we get a lot of little mom and pop shops that open up, and then within 2 months, 3 months down the road, they're closing their doors because people aren't supporting them, and that's sad. They'd rather go support Chili's or Hooters or the big chain restaurants, um, just because all that shit. And I just don't understand it. Where's your mentality? Why aren't you helping out the smaller businesses? Me, I'm a small business. I don't consider myself small, but I would, in the eyes of everybody else, being an illustrator, doing what I do, I'm a small business. And but yet you'd rather go to Walmart and spend, X amount of money on a piece of shit artwork that you're buying off the shelf than getting a custom piece over here because I'm a little more expensive. You know, even going to a locally owned pharmacy now. Had enough of Walgreens lying to me. Yeah, and that's any of your pharmacies. They're pretty much going to lie to you for the most part. Mom and pop shops are the way to go when it comes to certain things, especially those that have been around for a long time and haven't let the big corporation, excuse me, let the big corporations kick them out. Hence, Walmart opening up the little hometown stores and then closing them within a year, even though the stores were showing a profit. You know, that's a bad deal for Walmart on that note. And I saw that happen to a lot of the hometown stores in small towns, and and I had to go help close them down And I was getting the feedback from the customers, that were griping and throwing a fit. And I'm like, look, I'm just here to help, with whatever they need. I am not from corporate office, but if you want the corporate number, 1-800 Walmart, give them a call and tell them that they fucked up. That's the best I can tell you, because I have no control over what's happening right now. But yet, I was the one that was getting all the brunt of the anger of the people, and not to mention that it closed down a bunch of mom and pop shops that were in that town at the time, and they couldn't compete with the prices of Walmart, and so they had to close their doors. Well, now you just left the whole town without supplies, except for Dollar General, you know. And then finally some other people move into those spots, those old buildings, those that are left abandoned. But yeah. No, the corporate greed out there is ridiculous. I mean, they treat their associates like shit. Um, they don't pay them what they're really worth. But yet, if you're a higher up, a coach, a team lead, something like that, you get a huge bonus, and you don't get to work as hard because you've got somebody that's going to work harder for you. You know, and we can pay them less. But it's just how it goes in the corporate world, and it sucks. What up, Taticus? If you're showing up today, welcome to the show. His little business, Mr. Taticus Tattoo there. He's got his own little studio opened up, and he's doing a great killing over there. And that's not a negative thing, TikTok. That is a great thing for him. Um, and it's a fun little spot. The girlfriend's gonna get her tattoo done up over there. I'm gonna get mine touched up over here because mine was done back in 2008 in Hawaii, and it needs some touch up. So needs some new color put inside of it, and so he's gonna be doing that for us. Uh, so looking forward to that. But all right, folks, I hear some aminals moving around, so I'm going to go take care of them. I do appreciate each and everybody being here, checking us out. We're up to 24,000 likes, 24.1 thousand to be exact. And I do appreciate each and everybody being here. But as I like to say as I leave you guys, we will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day, everybody.